All right. So, hello, everybody. Welcome to the second episode of What's Going On in Japan Tech Market podcast. Today, I have Keina, who is one of my colleagues at Robert Half Japan, specializing in tech recruitment with us. So, I will let Keina briefly introduce yourself. And yeah, please begin, Keina.
All right. Thank you so much, Avi, for having me. I'm so excited because I just love to talk.
Right.
My name is Keina, and originally I was born in Japan and raised up until 6 years old in Osaka, and then later on I went to school in both Beijing and New York, and I just came back to Japan from New York over 2 years ago,
Oh,
and since then I've been working in Rubber Half with you together.
great.
But yeah, that's just a brief introduction about me.
Lovely. I think we both began quite like a similar time, right? Maybe a few months
Yeah,
here and there. So
2019, I believe. Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. So how did you transition from New York to Japan and then to recruitment? I believe you were doing something else before, right?
Yeah, I was actually doing a lot because my major was PR, public
Mm-hmm.
relations. So I was doing a little bit of PR back in New York. But because I think, also maybe, because of my personality and everything, like I love to talk to people. Like I wanted to be in a position where I could interact with humans. So I
Mm-hmm.
think, it doesn't really matter if it's PR or if it's, recruitment is actually also great for me because, I got the chance to talk to many people. And yeah, I think, despite of the cultural differences, we're all humans, and
Yeah.
understanding human is kind of like one of the passions of mine. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I love doing this.
I see, I see. And that kind of
Yeah.
led you towards recruitment, right? So I think you
Yes.
were over maybe 2 years or maybe 2.5 years over in the recruitment industry. So I
Yeah.
want to know more about one of some of your memorable placements. I mean, in recent years, and I think you have seen both the world, right? Before pandemic and after pandemic.
Yeah.
So there must be many memories. So if you can let me know one of those.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, actually, yeah, many of my placements are quite memorable because there's always up and downs in the process. Yeah, you know that. Um, but yeah, one would be I think last year, at the beginning stage of this pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we just started working from home, but we were still hoping that it was just a very temporary thing, that
Right.
like people would go back in just a couple of months. So at that time, this client company based in Tokyo were looking for like this specific type of candidate, and it wasn't an easy search. But then I found a candidate in Okinawa. So
Okinawa.
I spoke to the candidate, and it turned out that he's so passionate. Like like what he wanted to do actually matches with what the company is doing. So it's a great match, but just the location wise, like he's based in Okinawa and he's got a family there, so it would be he wouldn't be able to just relocate to Tokyo. I still have them, meet each other anyways. So, he went through all the interviews and everything, went well. And then, I was also in between trying to communicate, for the location thing, trying to figure it out. So at the end, the client really liked him.
Mm-hmm.
So there are many candidates, but then they still decided to offer him,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of this location issue. So the solution they provided was, oh, so maybe he, like, for the 3 months at the beginning, he needs to be in Tokyo, and then
Mm-hmm.
after that, maybe after he get to know more about, he get familiar with the people he's going to be managing, the settings, the companies, maybe after 3 months there could be some flexibilities. Um so yeah, but like for the candidate, it was really difficult. It was a really
Right.
difficult decision to make. So after thinking about it for a week or so, he emailed me saying that, like, yeah, like, sorry, I can't do this.
Yeah.
um and I remember that I was thinking, like, because I've already invested tons of time in this, doing a lot of like communication and negotiation. But this is what it is. You can't really, sometimes you can't really change, what it is, what it is. So
Mm-hmm.
I could accept that. So I just gave him a call later that day. I just wanted to, speak to him and just, to make sure that I understand and, he's fine. And then I gave him a call and I was just like, hey, how are you? And then he told me that, oh, not great. I was like, oh, because of this? And he's like, yeah. He's like, this is a really difficult decision for me to make. He's like, I really want to take this opportunity. But I look at my kid, and it's just, it's too tough for me. So I think at that moment, I was like, I could accept a lot of, like a lot of the result, right? But like for that case, at that moment, I was like, I can't give it up yet, like, yeah. So I was just like, hold up, like, so let me maybe think about some other potential solutions. So I restarted this, like negotiation and communication again, and we ended up switching this job to a contract job, so he could still keep his, side business. And then he sort of like, it was like a trial for 3 months.
Okay.
And after 3 months, so he'll be able to see that, if there could be possibilities for him to work remotely in Okinawa. So yeah, it actually turned out really great because, it's amazing to see how, last year, it's amazing to see how the whole society actually adapted to this, new changes very, very fast. And by the time he joined the company, I think we were already able to, work remotely, like most of the companies.
So
Like
initially, for the contract, so he was working from Okinawa, or did he relocate to
No,
Tokyo?
he relocated to Tokyo, but so it's like, it's only a 3 months trial, right? So he will be able to know if things don't, like if the remote work wouldn't work out after 3 months, he will be able to go back, and he still has his side business, so that's fine. It's like a trial, so it's not like a fully commitment. And so it worked out in that way. And then, after 3 months, it turned out that, he's able to actually be fully remote. Yeah, like working fully remotely in Okinawa. So now he's still there, and everything's good. But it's just, the whole like communication thing, negotiation thing, and there's a lot of like up and downs, frustrations, excitement, which made that case so memorable to me. Yeah.
I see. Great. I think that is one of the things, like many people doesn't really understand like what difference recruiters make, and how we're turning the invisible to visible. So Ken, I just wanted to know more, like from your personal experience, like what are the things like a recruiter, what are the contribution actually a recruiter has in this kind of like when someone is looking for a job, or when companies are looking for hiring new people.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely, I agree with what you just said, like, the invisibles, right? I feel like sometimes, we go back to the client with a signed offer and just be like, hey, congratulations, you've got this signed offer. But they don't necessarily know that what has happened behind this, right? There could be a lot of situations. I feel like we're always ready to solve some unexpected issues. Sometimes it's a counter offer, or multiple offers, or just a family issue, some sort of like emergencies. You never know. I think we always try to minimum the possibilities of some unexpected issues by constantly talking to the candidate, even when on the client side there's no update, but we talk to the candidate just to check that if there's any updates from their side. And I feel like like it actually takes a lot of it takes a lot of like human skills, right? For us to like problem solving skills.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes, sometimes, because it takes trust, the trust that candidates have towards us, right, to actually work on this together. So I think that's something maybe the client, they don't necessarily see.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that, behind almost all the placements that we've made,
Yeah.
there's always a lot of stories behind
I
that.
see.
Yeah.
I think just to add up, they say like every love has a story. So I think every placement also has a story, right? And
Yeah.
especially when it comes to a job, like it's such a big thing in a person's life, right? It's his career, and that person's one person, every person actually, they spends almost maybe 60 to 70% of his whole day to the job, right? So definitely this person will be having a lot of cross checking, a lot of having the fit or understanding the role. So I think the role we play, it's not only like consulting, not only like selling a job, but also a lot more you said about the trust and how
Yeah.
we kind of help them as a friend, as a mentor, sometimes as a coach
Yeah.
to navigate. So yeah, totally agree.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
so Kaina, moving towards the next question, like I just wanted to know more, like what unique thing do you bring in the Tokyo recruitment market?
Uh, I don't know if it's this unique, but yeah, I would say that, yeah, like I said, that I think it's a human. There's this human nature of this job, right?
Yeah.
There's this human part about this job nature, and I feel like, you know, for maybe, for a lot of people, recruiters are kind of like, like salespeople, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of like salespeople. But I feel like, it's definitely more than that. And for me, I have this, I think I have this sense of like empathy.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to, if the client comes to me, and they sometimes the client explains the whole thing, like, why this job is open now, like gives me this whole picture, right? Like why it's so urgent, why they need this candidate as soon as possible, what kind of business, this and that. And it really makes me truly feel like I want to help. Like I want to, like, I feel the drive, I feel the urge to help them. And on the candidate side, it's the same, like sometimes I feel that human connection, and I just feel like I want to help this person. So I think, then it becomes more than just, a deal, right? And
Yeah.
more than just like a match. I think, like it should be like this. I feel like it's not just like, recruiters we're not just like reading the resume, right? Then I believe if that's the case, then
AI
some
could do
AI
better.
technologies, yeah, some AI technologies would just replace us, right? But it's,
Mhm.
it's not just like that. It takes a lot of human skills. And I feel like I have the urge to do that part. That's
Mhm.
for sure. Yeah.
For sure. So I think what it will take is towards like maybe working as a trusted advisor. So you are someone whom the client relies as well as the candidate trust. And also one thing I always wanted to add, like if someone says like, AB, what are you actually learning throughout your life, throughout your job? I just want to say that one thing I'm learning, which is humility. So I think, and also entering into this job, this humility part is really something I'm really trying to master or, trying to learn because of course we are giving a great job and that's of course highly paid than what they've been doing in the current one, but then again it has to fit them and it has to kind of make them comfortable, make them feel like something they will be having
Yeah.
like going towards. So I think yeah, I mean the trust part, the humility part really plays a big role here.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean like as we talk about trust a lot, so whom do you turn for advice and in your life, Kana?
Yeah, that's yeah, I think that's a great question. I think we also touched a little bit the other day during our training in Rubber
Yeah.
Hat. Um, so I tend to turn to someone who's senior than me. I think I
Mm-hmm.
also mentioned that during that training. Um, Someone senior, definitely maybe not necessarily my friends that are, at similar age. And I think that also sort of like reflects on my insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we also talk about that. That sometimes I struggle with, I feel like, who am I to giving the advice, because
Mm-hmm.
there are so many like more like senior professionals, and
Wow.
as a young professional, I have this insecurity that, I feel like, oh, would anyone care what I have to say? But I really appreciate that during that session, one of our colleagues, she told me that, oh, we actually would like to hear what those young professionals have to say, because they're more open-minded. They could bring new, fresh ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I really appreciate that. And I think some other common qualities that we're looking for from a trusted advisor would be like someone who can be honest, who
Yeah.
can give like honest and authentic advice. um yeah, I think, yeah, for me, maybe someone senior, someone honest, someone that
Mm-hmm.
I feel trustworthy. Yeah.
Right. But on the other hand, I think most of your clients or the candidates as well, they're older than you, right? But what I've seen from my personal experience, they really trust you. They really, I've seen many clients who just only want to work with you, or maybe even in my case, I've seen many people who just want to work with me. Of course, there are so many agents. So what actually, what is the thing that lets people come back to you all the time or trust you like you have special, you think?
I'm actually really grateful for, some of my clients and candidates. I'm grateful for the trust that they give to me. Um, because like I said, that I struggle with my insecurities, and, I constantly feel like maybe I'm not professional enough comparing with, the senior professionals we have in our companies. They have maybe more than 10 years of experience in the market. But I do feel like, sometimes I could be assertive, like I could conquer my insecurities when I truly care for them, like when I truly care for them, like, I want to just solve their problems, I want to help. And
Mm-hmm.
then that urge, when it's over my insecurities, then I feel like it's not about me anymore. Like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, if this could help them, then I would just say it out. you know like
Right.
I would just tell them to do this because this is good for them, this I believe is good for them. So I think, you know when yeah, like in that case, I feel like people can really feel that, I'm being honest, I'm being authentic, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm really just trying to help them, not just for myself, or so I feel like people can feel that when you be really authentic and genuine. And
Right.
I think that's the reason why people would, come back to you.
Hmm. I totally agree with you on this point because I also face the same thing. Like maybe our tenure with Robert Half is pretty much the same, but so far I've seen many people who are just, coming to me or talking to me, maybe because of the authenticity we have built, maybe because of the curiosity we have to truly help, not just
Yeah.
of course money. Of course, money is important, deals and sales is
Yeah.
important, but being really caring for their success, I think, which really made us maybe to some extent trustworthy. Yeah. Cool. So, Keina, I think we talk a lot, maybe you and I talk a lot about mental well-being, like how important mental well-being is, whether in terms of our
Yeah.
job, in life, in relationship. So I want to know, like, how important mental well-being is for you and how
Yeah.
you kind of preach this concept to your colleagues or people around you.
Yeah, that's a really deep question. Yeah, because I feel like, I'm still working on it. Maybe
Hmm.
everyone is
Sure.
also. But I think it's definitely very, very important, especially maybe, for the work that I'm doing, right? Because we
Sure.
need to, I feel like maybe, a candidate could be nervous, or, feeling this or that before an interview.
Yeah.
But it's our job to prep them, to make them feel calm and confident, be
Hmm.
themselves. So I need to show up with a
Right.
very, like in a very confident, very calm way. And also with the clients as well, so I feel like, like I can't, I'm, maybe you can tell them I'm a very emotional person. I could get affected by some,
Mm-hmm.
like energies and a lot of things easily, but
Mm-hmm.
I need to clear my mind
I see.
and just focus on what I do. So I think, I constantly, try to like clear my mind, um and just to focus on what they need, because there are people counting on you. You
Mm-hmm.
can't just crush, or you can't just have a breakdown,
Right.
because there are people counting on you. So for me, it's just to focus on that part,
Mm-hmm.
and tell myself to be strong, be tough, and yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I do.
I see. But also on the other hand, we are also human being, right? We can't always be the Iron Man or someone.
Yeah,
We're not robots, right? So yeah, I
yeah,
mean, for my case, if you ask me about my mental well-being, I wouldn't say, sometimes people say you always smile, you're very positive, you're always very strong, but that's not the case. I also have my breakdowns, my
yeah, yeah,
odd
yeah,
situations, and I totally admit, I think the best way to overcome your mental maybe unwellness is to totally admit, to confront, to kind of confess that, yeah, I'm not feeling well, I have this issue,
yeah,
or I know I have this problem.
yeah.
So,
I think actually it's now I see it also as a gift, like maybe for myself, that I'm very emotional, I get affected easily. I also have this empathy, so I could feel a lot, right?
mhm,
And I carry on all of those like feelings that other people are having, and they just give it to me. But I feel like it also makes me relatable, like I could relate to other people, like when a
mhm,
candidate, when when, let's say, still a candidate being nervous before an interview, or because I recruit for, most of them are engineers, right? Like
right,
software engineers. They're not the most verbal
mhm,
people. And sometimes you really need to like help them to understand themselves, or to like talk to the clients and stuff. And I feel like I could understand like their concerns, like what's holding them back. So I could help on that. I could tell them that like they're also humans, like
mm,
you don't, like if you feel like what you feel, like the anxieties, or you feel nervous, they also feel the same way.
exactly, yeah,
Yeah, so they're also just humans, so just talk to them, just
mhm,
yeah, so it is fine. I think because I understand that, so I can
mhm.
also like try to help them in the way that I help myself. So yeah, that's also what makes this job fun, like, because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
we're all just humans interacting with each
Exactly. I think
other.
accepting our, I wouldn't say weakness, but also the other part of ourselves is also very important because, like a coin has heads and tails, right? So definitely when you have the bright side, you have the dark side as well.
Yeah.
So it's okay to make mistakes, to feel weak, to feel down.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
for me, the thing which mostly works is I totally admit that, hey, I'm not feeling well. Hey, I didn't do this properly. Hey, I have this mistakes. I totally admit. And I think before, when I was maybe younger, I was holding myself to show that,
Yeah.
oh, I'm the best, or maybe I had this, you mentioned that insecurity of
Yeah.
trying to be perfect. But in now, maybe I'm turning 28 very soon, and if you ask me what's your goal, I would just say that, yeah, accepting myself, that is my biggest work I want to do. But yeah,
That's a
Kena,
great one. Yeah.
thanks. Yeah, but I wanted to know more about how do you nurture your mental well-being? Like, how do you kind of
Mm.
improvise it on a regular basis?
Mm. For myself, like, I journal a lot. I started journaling when I was really young. I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I write down my feelings and my thoughts a lot. And by writing it down, I sort of, I reorganize my thoughts. And
Mm-hmm.
then I sort of, I can understand myself better. Um, yeah, so I think that's a really important way for me.
Mm-hmm.
So and I feel like, how do I nurture it? mm, yeah, I would say, like, for myself, journaling is the main way. And
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. You meditate, right?
Yeah, I was going to add this up. So also journalize. I do a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
I use all this, kind of paid apps for journalizing, and I'm into it very heavily. But also one thing really helps me to, even it's unwinding myself or nurturing my mental well-being is meditation. Meditation is
Okay.
a tough thing, and you need some sort of mentor, some sort of teacher to kind of really, you can just sit and say, oh, I'm meditating, and you finish meditation. No. So maybe, throughout life, I've had the chance to really learn, or still learning meditation from various people. And I think that is slightly helping me to kind of, have those kind of, I would say, cleanse the anxieties or the issues I used to have, and helping me towards.
Yeah, maybe I should also start doing that. Yeah, I would
Yeah, we
like to
can.
give it a try. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So yeah, Ken, I think we touched on many different aspects of our work, of our life, and I think yeah, I mean, do you have kind of like any kind of suggestions for the people who would like to actually be a future recruiter or enter into our industry in general?
Yeah, that's a good one. I would say yes, still because I want people to know that, I want people to see this human side of being a recruiter. And because I know that recruiters, we can be portrayed as just salespeople. Um, but I definitely feel like it's much more than that.
Mm-hmm.
And I want people to still, if you want to be a recruiter, I mean, because we recently just got a new joiner,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not, he doesn't come from this background. So he was also like a little bit nervous,
Mm-hmm.
and asking me like, how, like, do I feel nervous talking to people? And I feel like, yeah, just like I said, it's about human to human, right?
Right.
And when you talk to someone, I think you need to genuinely, you know try to understand what they want, what they need.
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, so by doing that, I think it actually takes your anxieties away,
Yeah.
your self-consciousness or whatever. It takes that away because you come from this position where you are genuinely just trying to understand that person.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about you looking good or you looking this way or that way anymore. So I think this is the maybe the advice that I could give, um yeah, to recruiters. And also I also, yeah, just yeah, I think that's probably the advice that I would give.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think what you mean to me is like be genuinely genuine, right? Like be truly yourself, and you are here to support someone's career, whether it's a client or candidate, both way. And also
Yeah.
for the sales part, if I would like to add up one more thing is like I think everybody's a salesman because as a professional, right? So what you are
Yeah.
doing is you are exchanging, you're trading, you are exchanging some service, give and take. So in this way, once you're exchanging, that sales, right? When it comes to an exchange. So of
Yeah.
course we're salespeople, but more than that, we have a very big responsibility. And I think being very genuine, being very honest, being very authentic are some of the things maybe based on our discussion we can really sum up for our future,
Yeah.
generation of recruiters.
Yeah, I also feel like, sometimes, yeah, like you said that, you said earlier that, of course money is like important and everything. um but also the case that I just mentioned about, the candidate, I switched it to the contract job,
Right.
and it worked out at the end. But by switching it to contract job, I actually, how it works, so I'm like flip it to the contract team in Robert Half,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I actually don't really get much billings out of it anymore. But it also, it made me very happy actually at the end of the day, because it worked out. The candidate, got the chance to work, for this company that he really wanted to work for. And the candidate, so after a while I had a catch up call with him, just
Mm-hmm.
asking like how's everything going. And he told me that he's really happy that I didn't give up and I gave
Mm-hmm.
him that option. And after 3 months of the trial, it turned out that things went well, and he could still like work there, keep working there, and working remotely. So I think that actually, it's not like, oh, I didn't get the bidding, so but it actually made me really happy. So I feel like at the end of the day, it's really even though that money is important, but there's something more
Right. Like
that
solving
makes
a
us feel, yeah, makes us
solving a
feel,
problem, solving an issue rather than just creating some sales and run away.
yeah,
Or
yeah. And helping people, when they tell you, when a candidate comes to you and telling you that, AV, I'm so grateful for this, this changed my life and everything, I'm sure that you feel very fulfilled by that as well. So
For
yeah.
sure. I mean, I've been, observing situations where a candidate joined as a contractor and then they converted to a permanent, and then they became a hiring manager and now they're hiring from me. So there are this kind of situations. And if you ask me the reward we get from our job, of course, financially we get a lot of reward, but also like, like seeing someone progressing in their life so rapidly, that makes us, I think really happy. So yeah, Kina, I would really like to, wrap up our conversation today. And if you have any one takeaway you'd like to share, or any small message to the audience who are watching this, we'll appreciate.
Yeah, I think I want people to see this human side of recruiters for sure. And I think we pretty much covered covered that as well. And yeah, I want people to see that, still, like, we're not just like reading a resume and making a match, because we're not just machines, right? So yeah, I want people to know that. I feel like, some people, they really see us just as salespeople. So like, I don't really like the feeling of like it's everything is like a transaction. Like, I don't like that feeling. Like, I feel like I'm supporting, I'm being a human. I also see my candidates, my clients as humans as well. And I totally feel like, I understand that, like, some people may feel like their recruiters, maybe, like, some people may act like that. And I feel like, if you feel like, you can't trust your recruiters to speak for you, right, on your behalf to this client company, find another one. Because yeah, it's about the relationship, and you should feel comfortable in this relationship, and you should feel comfortable having that person represent you, and to negotiate, to communicate on your behalf. And you should feel that way. You deserve that. So yeah, that would be the message from me.
I see. So looking up to the human part, and also for recruiters as well, like serve as a human, not as a kind of a salesperson only, or as a machine. But yeah, got it totally. So, okay, no, thank you so much for sparing your time with me today, and it was a very
Thank
educational
you.
session for me as well. I hope our audience will also enjoy, and they will get back to us.
Thank you so much, Av.
Yeah, thank you, Keina. Bye bye.